Okay. Hey guys, I'm here to tell you the story about the birth of my twin boys. I thought this was a good time to do a story time about carrying twins, or my experience carrying twins. Yeah, and it wasn't really a pretty one at all. Was another kid planned? Yes, another kid was planned after we had our daughter. We did plan on a kid. We didn't know that we would get 2 kids. That was a very shocking news. I never thought that I would have twins. Let's just start there. I never thought it would happen to me, but never say never. Okay, I learned, there goes one lesson I learned. Never say never. When I went to my ultrasound, I went with my mother. My husband was out of town at the time at a wedding. I remember laying down on the bed. You know, I was 10 weeks. Yeah, I was like a little bit after 10 weeks, I think. And I was laying down on the bed. Ultrasound lady comes in and, you know, she's getting ready, you know, do her little checkup, you know, make sure that I'm actually pregnant, right? I'm laying down on the bed and the lady comes in and she's prepping me and getting me ready to check to see if I'm pregnant. And my mom is sitting in a chair and she's anticipating, like, okay, let's see this. And the lady is kind of moving the stick inside and she's like moving it around. And I kind of like lean up and I look at the screen and I'm like, am I tripping? Do I see what I think I see? Nah, it can't be. The lady is moving and trying to make sure she gets, I guess, like a good visual. And then she stops. And she says, and I literally threw my hands to my face. And I flopped down on the bed. And I was like, what? So my mom is in the chair and she's like, oh my God, we're having twins. Oh my God, we're having twins. And I am in a full like shock, like, what is happening? And she tells me I'm having twins and you can see them clear as day. I will show you the picture that I saw. It was clear as day. It was one at the bottom and one at the top. There was no, you know, overlap or one, you know, covering the other one. It was like, boom, boom. Here's one baby, here's the other baby. Of course, I was speechless. I was speechless. My mom got on the phone. She calls my husband and he's like, you're lying. Let me hear the heartbeat. And he goes to hear the heartbeat. She brings it up. He's like, no, that's the same heartbeat. He just could not believe. We were both, I think, like shocked. Like, this kid, is this real? Like, I'm not just having one baby. I'm having 2 babies. 2 babies. I'm having 2 babies. That just changed our whole course. And down the line, as the pregnancy goes on, I end up having, you know, early contractions. So I end up having to go to the hospital and they end up having to stop my contractions. I was only like, I think 28 weeks in, 28 or maybe 29 weeks in. Full term for twins is 37 weeks. I think I was 29 weeks in and I was already having contractions. So they stopped my contractions. Only a week, another week later, 2 weeks later, my water ended up breaking. So I'm at home in my bed. I'm laying in my bed, you know, sleep. But I got up and I'm like running to the bathroom. And like I sit down on the toilet and I'm thinking like I'm urinating, right? And I grab the toilet paper and I get the wiping and I'm wiping, you know. But then I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Why am I still feel like I'm peeing or urinating, and I stand up and I realize I was not actually urinating, that my water had broke. So my water broke, and of course at the time my mom and my mother-in-law would go back and forth staying the night at the house because my husband worked at night. I remember just running down the stairs, well, not necessarily running down the stairs, because obviously as a pregnant woman I'm not actually really running downstairs, but that's what it felt like in my head. So, and I pick up the phone, I call my doctor, I'm like, oh my God, my water broke. And she's like, well, get to the hospital. I'm waking up my mother-in-law and my daughter, I'm like, guys, we gotta go to the hospital. On the way out of the door, my mother-in-law's like, grab a towel. A towel? She is concerned about her car seat. So she didn't want me leaking all on her car. I get it. I put the towel, I grab a towel, I sit down on the towel in the car, and we're driving to the hospital. Next thing you know, they get me in, the wheelchair, and they take me into a room. And of course with twins, they give you 2 doctors. So I had my regular doctor and I had my high risk doctor, because when you have multiples, you consider high risk. I was actually supposed to go see my high risk doctor only like a few days from that moment, but now they had to push it sooner to see what was going on, and especially because my water had broke. So I'm in the hospital. They got me, hooked up and latched up. The next day, that next morning, they have me go get an ultrasound to see what's actually going on. And they see that you can't see baby number 1's head. But I wasn't having contractions either. So at this point, they kept me in the hospital. They were like, you're not going to leave until obviously I have the babies, because now I'm exposed, one, because my water broke. So with my water breaking, they didn't want anybody to check me down there. They didn't want it to force baby to actually come out more. They wanted to try to keep them in as long as possible. And at this point, I was 31 weeks. Nobody's checking me down there. I'm not really having contractions. I don't know how far I've dilated, and I planned on having an epidural. I know a lot of people, have their whole birth plan and everything. I didn't have no plan, okay? I'm gonna tell you right now, I didn't have no plan. The only plan that I knew I had was I want an epidural, because I always heard that the pain is real, and I was not about to be tolerating no pain, right? I guess, God had other plans for me. So I'm laying in my bed, and they kept giving me some other drug. It was like a Nubane, it's like Nubane, something like that, to ease off the contractions. They would, the drug kind of like made me like really like relax, and then it would like kind of like knock me out. So my husband, of course, is on the couch next to me, and he's laughing and thinking things are funny, because the nurse was asking me questions. I had no clue what she was asking me, because I felt like I was basically high. And so I don't know what I told her. So I got into the hospital Monday. Tuesday is when the high-risk doctor checked me and saw that you couldn't see baby number 1's head. The baby's head was basically somewhere in the canal. We didn't know where. So I knew I had been dilating, but I didn't know how far I dilated. I wasn't sure if he was just going to sit there in the canal or what. Come Wednesday morning, I woke up Wednesday morning. My husband woke up and he decided he was going to go home and check on the house, take out the trash, and like do stuff that needs to be done as far as around the house. So that morning, Wednesday morning, I was good. Actually, before that point, after my husband had left, maybe like 30 minutes, I had called in the nurse because I wanted to know when I was going to get my epidural. Since nobody could check me down there because they didn't want to, cause me to go into labor, they wasn't really sure how far I'm dilated or nothing. They had no information. And I remember calling the nurse and I asked her like, yeah, so when am I going to get my epidural? And she's like, oh, let me, call your doctor. And so I'm like, okay, fine, call my doctor and see what he says. So she comes back in like 5 minutes later and she's like, yeah, so the doctor says, we can't give you an epidural. And I'm looking like, I don't want to set myself up for what I haven't prepared for. I didn't take no birthing classes. I didn't take any of these things. But she goes to tell me they can give me that same drug, the new Bane drug or something like that. I think that's what it was called. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Fine. Give me something, because I started to feel my contractions. Like, yeah, give me something. I need to relax. They come in, they give me, you know, the drug. Actually, they shot it in my butt. Only like 45 minutes later, I felt the worst pain a woman could ever feel. I can't even describe it. And I remember hitting, you know, that little controller thing that's supposed to call the nurse in. I hit that button so quick, and I just got ding. Yes. Ah! Get in here! I feel something. And then next thing you know, I'm screaming and hollering because I literally was in the worst pain of my life. I grabbed up the phone and I called my husband really fast, and he's all like,
"Did you have the babies?"
And I'm like, "Get into the hospital now!" And bam, and I just hang up the phone. And next thing you know, nurses are bum rushing into my room, and I have all these people in my room. They get the midwife to check me. The doctor, I guess they called the doctor after the screaming, and they get the midwife in, and she checks me. All these nurses are in my room. She checks me, and she goes, "Oh, she's crowned." And at that point, I was like, what? What? I did not prepare for natural birth with no drugs. You know, I had prepared for vaginal birth, but natural birth with no drugs, I did not prepare for it. So I'm laying back in my bed, and now the midwife and the nurses are like, "Okay, we need you to lift up," because now they had rolled in another bed, and they needed me to pick my body up and put myself onto the other bed, because I wasn't in a delivery room. I'm looking at these people like, are you kidding me? You want me to do what?
Yes, we need you to lift up and put your body onto this bed.
So they're breaking down the bed, and next thing you know, the bottom of the bed that I was on, where my legs would be resting, had just flopped around. They had broken down the bed right while I was on it. Like, it had the bottom of it just flopped to the ground. I'm like, oh my God. And they're like, "We need you to get up, and we need you to lift up and scoot your butt onto the next bed." So I'm over here like, oh my God. And I'm like lifting up slowly, trying to help me. And I'm getting onto the next bed. Yeah, this is my experience for sure, y'all. And so I'm on the other bed now. And they're like rolling me in. And then they're telling me, "Oh, your husband is on his way. He's not far. He's called and told us he's on his way." And so now they're rolling me into the delivery room, the emergency room, I guess, the emergency room. And now they're like, "Okay, Miss Woodland, we need you to breathe. We need you to stay calm." And I'm over here like, I am literally in like full-blown shock right now. I don't even know where my mind went. So then this lady, this nurse lady, she kept saying, "Breathe, breathe, breathe." And I looked at her, and my hand went like this. And as soon as my hand was getting ready to shove her in her face for telling me to breathe, another nurse comes in, grabs my hand, and says, "We really need you to calm and breathe." And lo and behold, I try to get myself to calm down, because now at this point, they're like, "We need you to push." I just wanted it to be over. When my firstborn came out, guys, I promise you, I literally had forgotten that I had twins. That pain was so bad, guys. I literally forgot that I had two babies in my body. And you know, it's so crazy because my first baby boy, He was only 2 pounds, 13 ounces, guys. But that pain was horrifying that my brain went, I don't know where it went, but I literally forgot I had another child in me. That when he came out, they showed me him.
And I was just like, oh. And I was like, yes, it's all done, Lauren. You've done it.
And then the doctor proceeds to tell the nurse,
Okay, guys, let's get ready for baby number 2.
and I promise you, my face of like, oh, went, what? In like a matter of seconds. And mind you, my husband was in the room. He had made it before I started pushing baby number 1. So when the doctor says, let's get ready for baby number 2, I literally changed. Like, what are you talking about? I have to get ready to push out another baby after what I just literally experienced? And not only this, guys, but baby number 2 was bigger. Baby number 2 was bigger. I couldn't believe I was getting ready to do this again. Like, what? So the doctor is like reaching in. He's like inside of me, because in the midst of the pregnancy, my second baby was actually not head down. He was actually laying like this across my stomach like this. And so I had baby number 1 laying head down and baby number 2 like this. And so I believe baby number 2 is what caused my pregnancy to happen, because this one doesn't have any leg room or space, because had he been like this, I might have been able to carry them full term. But because he was laying like this, I think it forced him out, which he thought probably, oh, I'm going to hang around. Yeah. So because I carried one like this inside of my stomach and the other one was laying like this, it was like a T. And so they're in there trying to reach to grab my baby. He has his other hand on top of my stomach and he's trying to like push my baby down. And I am sitting here like this. Dying. I'm literally dying slowly. And when he realized he couldn't reach him, I end up having to have an emergency C-section, because now they have to get my baby out. As much as I did not want a C-section, I just wanted my baby out. I did want my baby out and I wanted him safely out. And, I had to sit up. I had to sit up after giving natural birth. I had to sit up, get the epidural in my back, lay back down. I'm laying back down there waiting, you know, for me to get numb. It's funny because like the doctor kept pinching my stomach area. Like, can you feel this? Can you feel this? I was like, yep. After a while, I was just saying yep, because I was like, I really didn't want to get cut. And I was like, I better not feel a thing. But the lady was pinching me because I had a woman doctor who ended up doing my cesarean. And I think she realized after a while I was just saying yes and that I actually couldn't feel anything. So I think she asked me another question and I thought she was still pinching my stomach, but she wasn't, because I actually didn't feel anything. So they get him out. They cut me and they get him out, and he comes out and he's a healthy boy. And he came out 3 pounds, 5.5 ounces. Yeah, so they immediately took them to the NICU. My babies are NICU babies, but they came out, if anything, they did come out breathing on their own. Yeah, that was my experience carrying twins. They came into this world and they were healthy. They were breathing on their own. I did wish that I could have breastfed them a little longer, because I was hoping to breastfeed them longer than I breastfed my daughter, because they did stay in the hospital for like a month. That was it. They were in the hospital just for a month, and then I was able to bring them home. So I will show you some clips of my boys, of their birthing arrival. I hope you guys enjoyed this story time about my boys, my twin boys, and carrying twins. I would love to hear if anybody else who has twins, your experience carrying twins. You can leave that down in the comment below. I would love to hear about your experience carrying multiples. I hope you enjoyed this story time, and yeah, I guess I'll talk with you guys later in my next video. Bye. Here goes DJ. DJ's looking good. DJ is doing really, really good. Here goes BJ. Oh, he's stretching. Oh, yeah, he's active. Kicking them legs, look at him. He's fighting somebody in his sleep. I don't know who. Oh. Oh. What a cutie pie he is. Here's Daddy changing DJ. To get your little stuff in the camera. We don't want all your business out. We don't want all your business out.
Like, lady.
Daddy, hurry up. So mommy don't have to show my business.
Hold on, scrub. Stop moving.
Hey, boo-boo. Hey, boo-boo.
Diaper changing contest.
Diaper changing contest.
Okay, here's mommy taking off the stickers.
I'm sorry.
Can't ready to go home.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Say, come on, Mom.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know. That was a little painful.
Say, come on, Mom.
Here, Mom. You are doing my work and your work.
Okay, boo-boo.
This way. All right. I'm going to take this off, and I'll just put it in his
You good now?
envelope over here.
Hey, DJ. Hey, DJ. Hey, man.
Here is.
He's hungry. I'm ready to eat. I'm ready to eat.
I'm ready to go to the party.
You ready to go to the party? Hey. Hey, BJ. What you doing? What you doing? You moving around? You moving around? Don't hide your face. You hide your face? You getting hungry? Say, Mommy, I'm hungry. We're gonna get ready to feed you. You singing to your brother? Go ahead, sing. Rock my baby. Ready?
Rock-a-bye,
BJ.
rock-a-bye, BJ. On the treetop. Oh, rock-a-bye.
You gonna sing it? You gonna sing it?
Rock-a-bye, DJ. On the treetop. When the wind blows, like cradle will fall. When the bell breaks, like cradle will fall. And down come baby, cradle and all.
Oh.
Okay.
Hey, we're
You
rolling
ready,
out of
Money?
here.
All right.
Say we're getting out of here.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Remember, get
You're
ready
going
to go.
home with
I'm
you.
about
This
to
is the
cry.
last time you have to walk through this door without them.
Oh, look at that.
Now you get to take them out the door with you.
We're going.
I can do it.
Out the door with you.
Look at them
Watch this.
together. Ooh, look at Mommy. You
ahead.
excited? Here, the mom. Hold Mommy hand. Hold Mommy hand. Ooh.
I got a dad.
There's Daddy. He got
Poor
the
Dad's
two.
trying to carry it.
Hi.
Hi.
We going home? We going home?
Go.
You're going home. Here we are, going home. This is BJ. BJ in the car seat. Yeah, we're going home. And then here is, yes, DJ.
Deuce.
I said DJ.
I said deuce. It's over there. Yeah.
But I'm over here with DJ.
I thought you was over there.
There's Daddy.
Bam.
Bam.
Get some.
You looking around like, what is really going on?
Go, girl.
You say hi?
What the heck?
Daddy's a reckless driver.
I'm not even driving.
I'm just playing.
Yeah.
kids these days. See how close I got sitting on the wheel? Because of the car seat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. You got something to say, boo-boo? You got something to say, boo-boo?
Really? I said, you driving slower than me. I got babies in the car.
Upside down you.
Okay, there's DJ. He got the hiccups, but we are home. And there's BJ. Boo-boo got the hiccups. There goes BJ. And there's DJ. There's both of them. Get in the car seat, and then they're gonna get in their crib together right here. So we got the crib all prepared and everything. And there's the two